right, good morning. Hi. I want to make a little video for this really nifty spreadsheet we're about to make, and we'll do this in class today. But if you're just watching this to catch up and you want to use this as an alternate assignment to the Fueling Your Team, maybe to make up some of those points, you can actually calculate out a graph. It's going to be a pie chart, just like something like this that was in your lab. We're going to make one of those for a meal that you've eaten recently. Okay, so this is meal pie chart. If you make a pie and do that as your meal pie chart, you get bonus points. That's mostly a joke, but that would be kind of funny. Okay, so I made this nifty little spreadsheet, and I want to show you how it is made because I think everyone needs to be able to use spreadsheets. I think it's super important. So in order to make a pie chart, I'm going to start with the three things that I want in my pie chart, and those are my three macromolecules: proteins, fats, and carbs. And I want to find a percentage ultimately, and that's what I'm going to graph. So when I finally get those numbers, we're a little bit jumping ahead here, but you're going to go to Insert, Chart, and that's going to insert a pie chart. Okay, so that's what I have this set up to do. And I can set up all these columns to automatically do all the work for me. And then all I have to do is go to my nutrition labels and look at them and then figure out the number of proteins, carbs, and fats in each one. Okay, so I want to do this example with you. Item number 1, we had oats. So I had some oatmeal this morning. So I'm going to go to my nutrition label. It's super helpful. I mean, it's like a trade-off, right? Because it's packaged food. Raw food, you can find nutrition facts online, which is pretty easy. And then you do want to make sure you're paying attention to the serving size. So here the serving size is a half a cup. And so just to be easy and to be simple here, I just made a half cup oatmeal. So I wrote in the protein was 6, the fats was 4, and the carbs was 33. And I don't know if any of you guys do this, but I like to really beef up my oatmeal, so I add a bunch of really fun things, which is going to be kind of cool actually to add this all up. So the next thing I add is coconut oil, and so here I have for 1 tablespoon proteins 0, but that's okay because fats 14 and carbs 0. Okay, food item number 3, I also add chia seeds. And you wouldn't think these really amount to much, but when you look at it, they have 6 grams of protein and 10 grams of fat for 2 tablespoons. So I only did 1 tablespoon, so I'm going to half this amount. So proteins instead of 6 is 3, fats instead of 10 is 5, and carbs is 10, with 10 grams in fiber, which is pretty important. Fiber helps those carbs be digested a little bit slower, which is a lot of people look for that fiber in their diet. Okay, so that's my chia seeds. The next item I add in is collagen. So you can, I don't know if you guys you can get collagen peptides. It's supposed to be good for, if you think about what collagen is used for in your body, it makes a lot of sense. Skin elasticity, strong nails, and healthy hair, and joints and mobility. So for the collagen, we have in 1 scoop, and I actually did half a scoop because it's a little bit intense too. So, oh, this is cool. It says Lactobacillus plantarum, 1.5 billion CFUs, which are colony-forming units of bacteria. There's 10 milligrams of this one particular bacterium. So this can be used as what they would call a probiotic. So it helps your gut. I've seen this awesome picture of your gut from my friend Amy. I've shown it a lot. So that's really neat, but it doesn't necessarily count as a macronutrient, one of these big 3. So looking in on the big 3, we have just basically protein is the only thing that they're listing here. But what's also really neat about this is they list all the amino acids. So if you ever need a reminder about what the monomer of a protein is, it's an amino acid. And here you have all the fun names like alanine, arginine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine. Can you kind of see how they all sound alike? And then there's things like aspartic acid and histidine. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna write that in here. Protein, 18 grams. And like I said, I did half of a scoop, so I'm gonna put in 9. There's no fats and there's no carbs. Okay, and the last item to make my oatmeal amazing, because this is like my love, peanut butter. Okay, and looking at this peanut butter, I see that there are, so the serving size is, here we have our peanut butter. Actually, here's a cool, I don't know if you guys have grocery stores where you can actually make the peanut butter and it grinds it up from whole peanuts. That's the ticket. I think that's really fun. And that's what this is, but I'm gonna estimate using the Smucker's. Although looking at the ingredients, yeah, it's just peanuts and salt, basically. Okay, so peanut butter protein for 2 tablespoons comes out to 8 grams. And fat is 16 grams. And carbs are 7 grams. And total sugars, 2 grams, fiber, 3 grams, added sugar, 0. So that's kind of cool. So I grew up on Peter Pan peanut butter, which was like the most hydrogenated, or had hydrogenated fats in it, actually. And then high fructose corn syrup was the #1 item. So, yeah. I don't know. I think it's like pretty intense to have a lot of added sugar. Of course, that's why we liked it. But when you start, well, maybe you guys will start noticing as you cut out sugar what happens to your cravings for it. All right, so here we go. We have all of our items. Now I can do mental math and I can add it up, or I can do a really slick thing in Sheets and I just say equals, and that means I'm going to enter in a formula, and then I want to do the sum, so I'm going to put sum here and then a parentheses, and I'm going to select the cells that I want to add up and press enter. And look at that. So total in my oatmeal, I had 26 grams of protein. And now I can do the same thing here. So that's equals, sum, and then I add it up all the way across the board. And then press enter. And then here's, if you want to be super slick, all you need to do is actually drag down and it'll copy that same formula, which is pretty nifty. Okay, so then what I did here is I found a percentage. Oh, and I just realized, so here's the total. I did another sum, so you can see here what the equation is. It's equals sum, and then C2 to C4, so I selected those cells. Oops, I don't want that one. Have to be careful exactly what you do here. Okay, and the percentage, oops, okay, hold on. Enter. Okay, now the percentage is C2, so that's 26 grams of protein over the total, and that's what I put in column, what does this say? C2 over C5, so that's this column here. And then how do I make something a percentage is the final thing, and I put parentheses over it so that that whole thing is multiplied by 100, and that's going to give me a percentage. Okay, and like I said, you can just drag and drop down. Oh, sometimes you can do that. Let's check out what's going on here. Equals C3. This should equal C3 over C5. Enter. Okay, and then this should be C4 over C5. Enter. All right, and like I said before, just to show you that again, you highlight the 2 things that you want to add into your graph, and you say insert chart, and then you could do a column, right? So you could look at protein, fats, and carbs, but since we put it in a percentage, it's super helpful to say, okay, let's make a pie chart, and then we can see what percentage of the whole is our meal, and that is carbohydrates. So I do want to delete this, delete chart. Cool. And this is what we got. And now we have just made what they did in our lesson. We can figure out all the macronutrients in a chicken breast. I guess let's make it as cool as they did. So I'll show you a couple other tricks here. You can edit the chart and it's going to pull up over here. Then you can customize it by adding a chart title and axis. So you could say macromolecules and oatmeal. And I want to then also, you can change the colors. Whoa, you can make it 3D. Whoa, that's pretty cool. Set up labels. And then you can add a label. So put the labels on the bottom, and there we go, proteins, fats, and carbs. And you can have it include the numbers. So when it says auto, that's what it auto does, and the numbers are there. And it's labeled. But I kind of like it. I guess, it labeled, because then you can see what the actual percentages are. So there we go. And that is how you do that.